Hey, what's up everyone? It's Erik with Sprucehill Homes here with some smart home upgrades you could potentially be considering for your home. Now, this is not necessarily set in stone, this particular list, but you know what? It's a good guide to think about like, hey, what should I spend my money on and what maybe should I consider not spending my money on? So let's jump in. First and foremost, kitchens. Kitchens sell homes. Kitchens are the heart of the home. So spending some decent money on upgrading your kitchen and bringing it into the 21st century is almost always going to be money well spent. I mean, I would say my guidance for all of my suggestions today is that you got to be practical in terms of how much you're spending depending on where you live, right? Unfortunately, your address is often going to dictate how much return on investment you're going to get for a particular upgrade. You know, if you are living in a busy area or maybe a less desirable area, throwing in a Wolf range and a Sub-Zero fridge is probably not going to ROI for you. But if you live in a more affluent area, I mean, it's potentially going to be expected. Kitchens, you want to make sure that you are making your kitchen brighter, more usable. Try to avoid like doors and that sort of thing. Drawers are always preferred and they're so much more usable. The other thing that I would suggest using are rollouts and pantry cabinets. I talk about that a lot in our walkthrough videos and that sort of thing. You know, rollouts are so powerful. You know, one of the things that I always try to encourage our clients to put in if they have enough space are 2 dishwashers, especially if you like to do a lot of entertaining. It really helps to keep the cleanup the day after a gathering down to a minimum, and it just makes life that much easier. So if you've got a little bit extra space, having a second dishwasher is a really nice thing to have. In terms of, you know, your kitchen design, I've seen a bunch of really stupid kitchen designs lately. I recently saw a kitchen design where there was a window looking into the backyard with the sink looking out into the backyard. Sounds marvelous, right? And then off to the right, if you're standing at the sink, off to the right was the stove. Still sounds marvelous, right? Well, between the sink and the fridge is a freaking island. So you had to, like literally, so you had to walk around the island to get to the fridge. It's just dumb. I mean, they should have put the fridge to the left of the sink so that you could easily get things in and out, and that just makes sense. So when you're doing some of these upgrades, like think about functionality, right? And you can do your own research on like kitchen design and that sort of thing. I could probably do an entire episode on kitchen design and what to do and what not to do. Nonetheless, make sure if you're gonna upgrade your home, your kitchen is definitely near the top of the list. It's probably one of the more expensive rooms to upgrade, but it's the room that you spend the most time in. And having a nice kitchen to spend time with loved ones and friends is always a good time and money well spent. The next, you know, smart home upgrade would be bathrooms, right? Kitchens and bathrooms are big sellers for a lot of different reasons. So don't hesitate to think about upgrading that bathroom. And I mean, you can go as simple as just, you know, replacing a vanity and a countertop, or you can go full send and, you know, replace a drywall, redo lighting, whatever you want to do. But certainly, you know, making that bathroom feel brighter and bigger is always going to be money well spent. And especially in some of the bathrooms that were, or most really, of the bathrooms were built in the, feels like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They did that like 12-inch bulkhead above the shower, lowering the ceiling for whatever reason. I honestly don't know what the motivation was behind that design detail. But if you remove that bulkhead above the tub in your house and you make the ceilings higher and make everything feel more connected, it's definitely the way to go in my humble opinion. So kitchens, bathrooms, great places to spend money. Next, now this is something you can DIY, but only if you're comfortable doing so. Plugs and switches. If you have those old school little skinny switches that go up and down, and you've got the old, really kind of yellowish, heinous plugs, replacing your plugs and switches is something that doesn't cost a lot of money, but it really upgrades the look of the home and it really makes it feel like it's more modern, right? So certainly replacing plugs and switches is a great way to go. Another, potential just, relatively easy upgrade that you can make is to add a Ring doorbell camera to your front door. I mean, you don't even have to have it wired in. It can all be battery powered as long as you've got Wi-Fi in your home. And I mean, who the hell doesn't have Wi-Fi in this day and age, right? Certainly having a Ring doorbell camera is great. You can get additional cameras that you can mount outside of your home, so you've got some sort of security. And if you pay for a subscription, you can record everything. I mean, sure, it's not recording every second of every day, but it's recording most things that you're going to want to get your eyes on if something's going sideways when you're not home. So I mean, if you don't have the funds to do like a proper professional home security system, the Ring system's a really great option for you. Now, something that people don't talk about enough, I feel, are leak and moisture detection systems. So there are a multitude of different leak detection systems. There's the Mow and Flow, which I actually have in my own personal home. I'm not in love with it, to be honest with you, but it is a definite option, and it detects leaks and, shuts the water off to the home if it feels like something has been going on for too long or whatever else. What I don't like about it is that the water is running for a pretty long time before it shuts off. So like a decent amount of damage can potentially already occur. I would say if I could go back in time and go with a different system, I would probably go with some sort of system where you put satellite leak detection sensors in, underneath bathroom sinks, behind toilets, underneath washing machines, underneath dishwashers. And those will talk to a main central unit and shut off the water to the home if and when something's leaking, and that will be instantaneous. So I think like that's personally, I would rather see that kind of system put in. I don't know. Moen tried to do something with the Mow and Flow, and I mean, they're obviously selling a bunch of them because they're relatively simple to install. I just don't know that they're that awesome. But nonetheless, some sort of leak detection system is a great way to go. And for a lot of you, your home insurance could see a reduction in cost because you have that system installed. One of the highest claims for insurance companies, actually I don't know this for a fact, so I'm kind of talking out my ass here, but I'm pretty sure one of the highest claims for insurance company are floods, right? Like somebody left a bathing suit in the sink to soak, and then the sink filled up and they left the water running and the overflow doesn't work, whatever the case may be, and water starts pouring out, and 2 hours later, oh damn it, we got a big problem here. So having some sort of leak detection is a solid way to go. The absolute best bang for your buck out there, paint. Just clean it up, man. Get the paint on the walls, on the trims, inside the closets. Don't skip the closets, you cheapskate, you lazy so-and-so. Get the closets done, get the trims done, get the doors done, get the walls done. A coat of paint everywhere makes a huge difference to how a home feels, right? Like it is what it is. And every home should really be getting repainted on the interior at least every 5 years to keep all of this underlying materials protected and also to keep the home looking nice. So don't cheap out. Paint your home. You're going to regret it. You're not going to regret it. You're going to really enjoy having that cleaner looking home. And it's definitely, if you're thinking about selling, paint is an absolute freaking no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Now, not dissimilar to paint, window coverings, right? Like if you got old, like 15, 25-year-old window coverings that are yellowed and dirty and gross, and you've tried to clean them and they don't really come clean, spend some money on some new window coverings. Again, like these are the sorts of things that you're looking at every day, and you probably don't really realize that you look at it every day. But I promise you, if you have old crappy window coverings and then you upgrade them and replace them with new clean ones, you're going to notice how much nicer your home looks and feels when you walk in every time. So it's definitely a way to go. New window coverings, you're not going to regret that decision either, I don't think. Things that are kind of above and beyond the inside of the home, right? Automated irrigation, right? If you tend to go on vacation during the summer, having some sort of system that will water your plants, water your lawn while you're away automatically, it's like a sense of peace and relaxation while you're away, because you now know that your plants and your grass, especially if you're like a lawn fanatic, is going to continue to stay watered, and it's going to look good when you get home. And it just takes a lot of stress out of your day to day as well. Like having an automated irrigation system is a really nice something to have, right? And I mean, for most homes, for most properties, you can have a fairly decent irrigation system installed for anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000, at least here in the lower mainland of BC. If you're gonna do the irrigation anyways, you might consider some landscape lighting. I feel like a lot of people grotesquely undervalue landscape lighting, especially when you live someplace that has long nights during the winter. You're right. We, here in Vancouver, it's typically, starts to get dark as early as like 4:30, and it doesn't get light again until 8:30 the next morning. So having some landscape lighting to just make the home, the property, more welcoming to come home to and be at is really nice. And a couple of nice uplights underneath your trees really can completely transform what it is to look out the back of your house in the evening. It just makes a huge difference. I'm a huge fan of landscape lighting. Really, really huge fan. And again, I mean, it's similar price points, I would say, to irrigation. You're going to be in the $4,000 to $8,000 range, depending on how many different lights you want to have running around in your front and backyard. Through the powers of video editing, I now have transformed myself into this version, which is my Movember look. So sorry for the disruption to the video. Maybe you're welcome, because who doesn't like the chops? Anyways, so the next thing that I'd like to talk about from a smart home upgrade perspective is backup generators. There's a lot of different options that you can go. You can do, probably the least expensive thing you can do is to do some sort of manual transfer switch and have like the generator you use to power your RV when you're camping or something like that. Roll that out into the backyard or wherever you might want it and run your home off of some sort of portable generator. That's the quickest, cheapest, easiest thing to do from a backup generation perspective. The amount of stress that having a backup generator that is on an automatic transfer switch reduces life by is it's astounding, right? Especially if you have a home that have sump pumps, or you tend to keep like a lot of meat in your freezers. You got a deep freeze full of food or whatever the case may be, right? If you've ever been without power for more than a couple of days, that stuff starts to thaw and it can go bad. And so, it only takes one or two power outages of that duration to, already make mathematical sense to get a backup generator on an automatic transfer switch. There's a ton of different options. Generac is probably the most common in the industry. And again, like a generator that's on an automatic transfer switch, it's going to detect a voltage drop from the utility provider. And when there is no power coming to the home, generator kicks on. A couple seconds later, a big breaker flips over and boom, your home is back up and running with power. Now, the system I'm talking about involves your home being dark for like all of a minute, not even. Maybe it is a minute. A backup generator is a great investment. It provides a ton of peace of mind. You're not going to ever hear me talk you out of investing money into a backup generator. A great something to have. And even greater if you live someplace where the power tends to go out frequently, and especially if you live someplace where the power can go out for days at a time. Then it's just a no-brainer. Get the backup generator, learn to live your life. For example, I have my entire office on the backup generator. I work from home most days. And so I want my internet, and I want my computer, and my ability to continue to function and run Sprucehill to the best of my ability, even when the power is out. Now, for me, when the power is out, our exterior lights are on, our garage door still works, the lights on the main floor all still work. All right, I know I'm a bit much, but the TV on the main floor still works. The internet still works. We're in pretty good shape when the power goes out, right? Air handler still works, furnace still works. Like we're in good shape. So backup generator, fantastic smart home upgrade. Definitely recommend it. Now, let's talk about some less than smart home upgrades. The number one thing on my list right now anyways is smart fridges. What's the point? It's just total gimmick. I mean, they're talking about like, oh, you can have AI figure out like what groceries you need. It's not there yet. I mean, maybe it will get there one day. I'm sure it probably will. I mean, it seems like more and more like we might be getting closer and closer to the Jetsons, if you remember that show. But I would suggest spending lots of extra money on a smart fridge is money not well invested. Just get a fridge that works, man. It's not rocket science. The other thing that people seem to be spending money on, color changing light bulbs. I mean, I guess. But you know what? It's for you. Nobody else is going to care that you have color changing light bulbs. So not a smart home upgrade if you are wanting somebody else to care about what you've done. And then finally, the other thing that we see people do all the time is building above the area standard, right? If you live someplace that is relatively modest, shall we say, and then you start appointing that home with Wolf Sub-Zero appliances and high-end masonry and moldings galore, you're not going to get any return on that investment because nobody else that would be potentially moving into that area is going to care. So really be pragmatic and practical about where and how you spend your money. That is my advice. And if you're not sure about what is pragmatic or practical, find a local contractor. Talk to 2 or 3 of us. We are in the industry. We see all of the things, the doodads, the gadgets that designers, architects, clients alike, they all think, hey, this is a really great idea. And then we go to implement it. And after the fact, it's kind of like, not so sure about that. And so, you know, if you talk to like I said, 2 or 3 contractors, they're going to tell you if what you're thinking about doing makes sense or not. So, you know, do your due diligence, do your homework. In the meantime, if you find any of the content that we're creating over here even remotely helpful, we sure would appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'd also really welcome any comments about what you think some smart home upgrades might be. If you disagree with anything that I've said, I certainly have noticed that on TikTok and Instagram, there are no shortage of people out there with opinions about what I have to say. So always looking forward to continuing the dialogue. Thank you for those comments. Again, thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome and catch you on the next vid. Bye now.